of stuff attached to them. I also don't like anything hanging off of me anymore, just a general tip. Because you hook that 32-inch steelhead that you've been working 3 years to hook into, and you've got a carabiner with 73 spools of tippet on. So I never have anything hanging off of me. I'll set up and a net on my back, but you'll hardly ever see anything hanging off of me for that reason. That I just don't want to lose that fish in front of me. I have no idea what time it is. 6:35. We're getting close. So, any questions on gear before I move forward on the last couple things? Everybody, good information today? Bored to tears? We're doing good so far? Okay. So last but not least is let's talk about some online resources to help get you up there, places to fish, and what the conditions are looking like. So I've got a stack of maps here. This is all just Lower Elk. If you go on fisherie.com, just FISHERIE.com, there's a section there that says angler maps. There's also another section on there that says forum. Don't go on there. It's the worst forum I've ever seen on the internet because all the people who are, yes, all the people are on there say, don't come up here, we don't want you. And they'll just give you a hard time and call you nasty names and won't give you any useful information. Like, I hope the people that live up there realize that the people that come up that buy gas at their gas stations and eat at their restaurants and stay at their motels are giving them commerce so that they can actually exist. There's my soapbox. I'm giving. Don't go on the forum. It's horrible. The angler maps are great. They're a little bit outdated on a few things. New parking spots in the last couple of years. The state has bought some property and added the general layout of the streams and public parking areas by looking at this. Also, if you have, whether it's Google Maps or Trout Routes or onX Hunt, you can see some of those public access there too that are owned by the state of Pennsylvania. So this on here will show every stream that has fish tributaries to the lake, and then I think Elk is the only exception to that rule. It has a lower and an upper section, 2 different maps for it. So this will show you parking areas, campgrounds. There's like a P in different spots out there. It shows you all the routes. If you don't know what an actual map is there, youngster up front, rather than the one on your phone, you can look at this. So that's a great resource. So hop on there and look at those maps. Or if you want to subscribe to something like Trout Routes, that gives you a lot of public access, or onX Hunt if you're a hunter and have that already. That'll give you a lot of access. Just like everything else, the purple paint law goes into effect for fishing. You can post a stream up there. So there are spots on the river that you can't access. They'll have posted signs. They'll have purple paint on the trees, whatever. Some places they have a rope across it. Don't pass this. So just obey that. My other rule is just pick up trash. There's been a lot of places that have been posted in the last couple of years because people are just jerks. So there's a very nice property owner up there that allows public access to it, and it closes for deer season. Because his wife was looking out the back window sipping coffee a couple years ago, and there was a guy going number 2 in her yard. And so just respect the property owners. If you're fishing someplace like Walnut, one side of the creek is completely posted. There's a billboard about 8 feet big that shows you that you can't. There's still people that fish there and get ticketed all the time. But great resource for maps. Go ahead.
When it's posted, if you're waiting, are you allowed to wait?
You are not. So the rule in certain states out west are you can stay in the high water mark. Pennsylvania, it's not. So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it has to be a navigable body of water. So what that means is not, I can take a kayak down there, is that sometime in history they used this for commerce of floating logs, putting barges down, whatever. And it has to be deemed that for you to be able to stay in the high water mark. So like Ohio River, somebody lives on the edge of the Ohio River, you can walk the whole way down the Ohio River. I just heard recently, before they dammed it up, the Ohio River was so shallow you could walk across the whole thing before they put the locks and dams in there. But yeah, so obey all those private properties. Sometimes it's just the right bank, sometimes it's just the left bank, sometimes it's everything. So if you see posted property, just don't go in there. Pull up a map, there might be a way to get on the other side. There are some people that have posted more property in the last couple of years, and then, like I said, actually bought a decent amount of acreage of property just to give more public access to the fishery. Yes.
Has there been any state access expanded on the mile streams on the east, or is it all
I
exclusively on the
think
west?
there was extra access added to 20 Mile in the last couple of years too. Yeah, so there's like 2 spots on Elk that they built, and then 20 Mile got a piece of
It's been
property.
like 30 years since I've.
You were 7 when you started, right? Other things, which I didn't touch on, you need a Pennsylvania state fishing license, and you need a trout and an Erie stamp. So you can buy them both in combo, and it saves you like $2, but you need both to fish there. Like, well, I'm not catching fish. Well, you're targeting them. And that money goes towards the hatchery to help build new populations of fish for future years. So whether you keep them or not, you still need both of those to be legal in fishing. That's Pennsylvania. Ohio, I need to cover up my online here. Ohio, you don't have a trout or an Erie stamp. Your out-of-state fishing license is $50, and it's from the day you buy it, 365 days in the future. Ohio stocks a spring run steelhead. So they still get some fall run fish, but they get some spring run fish that'll start pretty much ice out February, March, and then run through May and June sometimes. So if you really want to extend your steelhead season, check out Ohio. So I might bleep that out because it's a little hidden gem that I don't share with too many people. Your limit of fish, if you're going to keep them, is 3 a day, and I think it's 2 days possession. So I think it's 6 fish possession. If you want to keep fish, if you don't want to keep fish, don't yell at people for keeping fish within their limit. That's another soapbox. They're stocked fish, just like everything else. There's a lot of them. I have my views on it, and I wish it would change. My views, if the Pennsylvania State Fish and Boat Commission is watching, is that we have a tag like a doe tag. You get 15 tags when you buy your license, and they're $2 for every tag after that. You want to keep a lot of fish, you're going to pay for them. Because us catch and release guys are putting them all back, and other people are catching them. That's what I would do if I was president. So if you want to keep fish, they're great, fantastic, keep them. The best recipe in the world for them is take a cedar plank, fillet your fish, open it up, put some lemon slices in it, your favorite seasoning, put it in the oven for 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes. Take it out of the oven, take the fish, dump it in the garbage, and eat the cedar plank. Okay? In my opinion, they're not the best table fare out there. They're a little gamey. If you do keep them and you want them to taste better, get your fresher fish. So get your silvery fish rather than the ones, the longer they're in the system, they're going to get darker. You're going to see rosy red cheeks. So your fresher fish are going to taste better. And also they're going to taste better, and they're going to be less gamey if you bleed them out. So you can't fillet them on stream, but take a knife and cut the gills. That's going to bleed them out, and that's where a lot of your gamey taste is going to be. So you can definitely do that and kill your fish, but you can't fillet them on the stream. There is a fish cleaning station at Walnut by the boat ramp there that you can go and do that. It smells great.
I thought they closed out there.
I don't know. I know there was some abuse to it with a lot of garbage and stuff, and closed it here and there, but I'm hopefully safely going to assume that it's open back up. Yeah.
They shut the water and everything else.
Yeah, if it was frozen, I would assume seasonally it might get shut off too. So if you want to keep fish, just grab a big section of rope and put them on there, and 3 a day max. If you see people snagging on purpose, keeping more than their limit, don't approach them. There are a lot of people of not American descent, is the best way I'm going to put that are known for keeping fish over the limit, snagging on purpose. Vladimir from who knows what always gets busted for 57 fish over the limit in the back of his white van. So don't approach them. I've seen a lot of them, which they will do one of these, and you can imagine what's underneath there. So be nice and approach people the right way, and make a phone call to the fish commission if you see something happening. But don't approach them. You don't want to get yourself hurt by catching some fish. So, but follow the rules. Do your best there. Other online resource. The Weather Channel, whatever weather app you have. There's one on a desktop I don't get on my mobile that shows prediction and past of rain amounts. So for me, I can see like, oh, we're getting a 1/4 inch of rain. That's not going to blow the system out. Oh, we're getting 1.5 inches of rain. It's going to blow out for 3 days after that. So I can kind of take a guess as to what my water levels are going to be. That USGS, if I'm stuck with one thing to figure out what my fishing conditions are the rest of my life, it's that. And I can see the water levels coming and going, and what my fishable levels are going to be. There are a couple webcams too. So there's a couple on Fish USA now. The Mouth of Trout Run has one on the Avonia Beach. Trout Run, in case I didn't mention it, which I kind of did, is nursery waters. You can't fish the creek. You can't walk within like 20 feet of the creek with fishing gear, but you can fish the lake. So they use that creek, and if you're there, go check it out. It's just something fun. I took my boys last winter, 2 winters ago when I was there, and we sat there for like half an hour watching the 500 steelhead just swimming in the creek and trying to jump the waterfall there. But the lake is a very popular spot. So people will fish kind of the outflow of that creek as it's going into the lake. And they'll wade into the lake and have some really, really, really good success. But it can get crowded. You can have a person about every 5 feet throughout that run. And then I've seen guys with kayaks on the other side in the last couple years too that are like, oh, I'm not dealing with that crowd. I'm going to post up my kayak on the other side of the run. In terms of places to go fish, so we separate them east and west side. Look at from your perspective. So the west side creeks are Elk and Walnut. Those are your two biggest, widest bodies of water. So those are on the west side of like Presque Isle area. So if you're looking there, you also have two very small creeks of Crooked and Raccoon, which you can catch some fish in there, but you're kind of hiking through the woods and can be a little bit difficult, but there's some fun to be had there too.
That's hatchery water from the first bridge to the lake.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So that's all posted, and yeah, you can't access that as well, but farther up into the system you can. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, very small creeks. You can have a lot of fun when elk is blown out on some of those smaller creeks that are dropping a whole lot quicker, but just do so appropriately with the posted water. Elk is the biggest body of water. It also has the longest stretch of fishable water too. So you've got like 30 miles. I've tracked to Foley's End Campground and kind of like, oh, here's my key and here's a mile, and it's about 20 miles of water from the mouth to Foley's End. And then you've got all the way up to Strutian Flats and Sterretania and a couple more exits up there that there's still fishable water. So you've got about 30 miles of fishable water on elk. There's some posted water, but overall, that is in my opinion, the best stream to fish when fishing is good. So somebody asked me that earlier, where do you like to fish? When conditions are great, I'm fishing elk. I can go to 10 different spots. I can walk up and down. I can find, access in different places, and that's great. When it's too high or too low, then sometimes I'm going to other bodies of water. My other exception to that rule is mobility. Like if I've got a couple of my boys, I've got 5 kids at home, like my 11, 13-year-old, maybe my 9-year-old will join me this year. I like fishing smaller bodies of water because it's easier for them to wade. So something like 16-mile, 20-mile, places like that. It's just smaller water, easier for them to get around instead of some of the bigger water in case we have to cross. But also, yeah, so your mile streams are the east side. So, yes, I'm still backwards here. So your mile streams, if you run Route 5, you're going to hit all these mile markers. So you've got 7 mile, 8 mile, 12 mile, 16 mile, 20 mile. 20 mile actually runs into New York a little bit. Backwards, this way from you, looking up at the lake. But there's about a dozen creeks up there that are direct connection to Lake Erie and have steelhead runs in them. They don't all get stocked with smolts, which can be a benefit in the spring if you're chasing some dropbacks. But the fish are still going to find access there and get into those bodies of water. I didn't touch on that last subject of seasons too. Is these fish are wintering in the streams as well. So they'll be there all winter. They'll run up, they'll spawn, and most of them are going to hang out there all winter. And then ice out happens, and if you've ever seen that stream, whether it's on video or in person, when the ice chunks come down and it's just a freight train of ice coming down, clearing out the system, sometimes it happens within a couple hours if we get a high amount of water in the spring. And then those fish are gradually going to drop back and go back into Lake Erie. So that's when you see your 4 and 5 year fish, is they survived people catching them and putting them on stringers. They've survived just the spawning habits and things like that and lasting all winter in there. And they're dropping back. And then sometimes we get that overflow of Ohio fish and get some spring runners in Pennsylvania. So, late February, early March, if we start to get a warm couple days and that ice breaks free, you can fish steelhead through April, May, sometimes June if we get a cool spring too. So steelhead can be an absolute blast. A fantastic day. I had a guided day 2 years ago. Guy never hooked a steelhead or a big fish in his life. He probably hooked almost 50 fish that day. Landed about a dozen of them. I don't fish when I guide, but we had a little fun that day. Like last part of the day, I was like, next fish wins. And I landed like a 30-incher in 4 casts. I landed 3 fish in 10 casts. That's how good of a day it was. But yeah, in a bad day, you might hook 2 or 3 fish and not land any. So you're definitely going to vary up there. Just be safe, especially when ice is on the water. You can break free of ice, have a waiting staff, have studs on your boots, have an extra set of clothes in the car. I have seen far too many people get wet on those streams, and it's 35, 40 degrees outside. So don't be hypothermic. Bring a blanket, have extra clothes, make sure that you're ready to go. Bring a jet boil and make some coffee for yourself on the stream, stuff like that, just to keep yourself warm throughout the day. And then move if it's cold. Like, just while you're sitting there, it might stir the fish up, but I'm constantly, moving my knees and my ankles and just making sure that I'm moving. If you stand there the whole time, your feet are going to get cold. Move up and down the stream, get out of the water if it's super cold. You're going to be fine. People ask me, when do you want to go? Anytime they're fishing the river. But ideally, if you said every year, what week are you going to pick to go fish for steelhead? It's the week before Thanksgiving. That second week in November, we've had 2 or 3 big runs of fish. Deer season's in, so some of the hunters are gone. And, the archery guys are out in the woods. And we've got a lot of fish, and we've got good water levels because the leaves are off the trees. So that's kind of prime for me. If I was taking a week off of work and fishing, it'd be about then. But once we get water in, first couple weeks of October, probably through December when it might ice up, that 2 months is absolute fantastic steelhead weather. So that is it. I've talked for almost an hour and a half. I've got 8 minutes left for questions and then some. So any questions, comments, things that I screwed up? Go ahead.
Yeah, just sort of on a rough estimate, when do you start looking at that? Maybe we call it the second upper section on elk, when fish are starting to get further up in there.
If we have enough water and they're running for about 2 weeks, they're going to start making their move up there. Some of these fish are moving 2 to 5 miles a day. So they can move a good ways up. But sometimes, especially early on, that river's going up and down, they're it's almost like red light, green light. It's oh, green light, we're going, red light, stop. We can't go any farther because the water drops so much. So they're kind of green light again, running back up a little bit. But if we have consistent water and we've got cool temperatures, they'll be up in that upper stretches of elk in a week if we have consistent water. If it's kind of up and down. But yeah, you go off of on the first exit there that everybody fishes. Rick Road up there. What's the exit off of 79? McKean. Yeah, that's the highest point that a lot of people start fishing. That's 25 miles up. But you'll see people on some of the good message boards and Facebook groups. I started a Facebook group of steelhead fishing on the fly, and I'll probably give some good information there. I'll give information on our Facebook page. So we have 2 Facebook pages. We have one with the logo on the window there. That's our local shop, so that'll give all our local information. I'll give as many updates, especially as we're guiding up there and fishing and getting customer information. We'll give stream reports and stuff up there. And then there's some other good resources here and there, but don't go on the forum at Fish Erie. Yes?
Have you ever fished the Conneaut Creek?
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that they have had gotten fish in clear Conneautville. That's 40 miles.
Yes. So that starts in Ohio, And between me, you, and the wall, that they go all the way up pretty late in the season.
Tuesday,
Lands that are public access up through there
there
too.
was a lot of fish in that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, Ohio's water is a little bit bigger too. So some of those rivers, you know, the Grand, the Ashtabula, Conneaut, some of your bodies of water. So if you're really looking at Bay Rod, that's some of the better water to head to as well. And if you really don't want to see the crowds, Ohio's a little better bet for that too. So you can fish there in the fall, even though they get that run, they still get a lot of fall run fish too. Good. You have a question? Somebody else? No? We are here every day except for Sunday. So call, stop in the shop, shoot us an email. We'll be more than happy to say, hey, Ryan, I'm thinking about going up on Thursday. What do you think? I'll give you my honest opinion. I'm not going to lie, because it's not like we're up there anyways. It's not like there's not 20 people to pull off, and it's going to get crowded. It's always crowded. So we'll be more than happy to give you information. Help you pick out some flies, things like that. This doesn't apply to the people virtual, but you can stay after, even though we're closed at 7, we'll stay open late. 15% off of steelhead rods and reels, so 6 weight and higher, and then all of our flies here, 15% off. So if you want to pick a few things up to get ready for the season, you're more than welcome to do that. Anything else, guys? I appreciate you listening, because I told somebody, I said, I could talk for 6 hours, so. But yeah, if you want other resources, want me to link things on your phone or stuff, I'll be more than happy to do that. And Derek's here for questions if you need some answers too. That's it.
Too long. I don't think all I could do.